Welcome to another episode of Late Night Shenanigans. Today we're doing mini charcuterie boards. Oh my god, these were so freaking cute. I found these boards and they had little knives to go with them and I'm so excited. So let's jump right in. We're going to go ahead and get this ready for the first pour. And what I started to do was use the very first pour just to pour clear resin and to create that base wave that all the other waves will be built on. And somehow it worked for me. I saw another creator do it and I absolutely love the way my first one turned out, and I've been doing it ever since. So right now all we're gonna do is butter the boards with some clear resin, making sure that we get all the edges and everything, because I want this resin to flow over the sides so that we can, create that very first wave. The working time for the resin is 45 minutes, and the only color resin that I'm going to use is the white one. And so I had this sitting off to the side for about maybe 30 minutes or so because I wanted it to be nice and thick for this first wave. So let's go ahead and put that white line down. And remember, this is the only color that we're going to use today. Now that we have it down, now, of course, you're going to get the bubbles out with the torch, but this is the most satisfying piece for me, and it's pushing the wave. So I usually like to heat up the resin first with the heat gun, and then the resin will tell me when it's time to push. It'll start moving, and then that's when I just go ahead and start working the wave. This is so satisfying to do and to watch. Now that the waves are pretty much done, I've learned to leave them alone and not go back and try to blow them again. But I want to clear up any of the shore up the baseline where the waves are crashing. And if there's any white that's, missing from the shoreline, I just go back and pour some over. Of course, hitting it with the torch just to make sure you get all of the bubbles out. And oh my gosh, look at that. They look so cute, right? Oh my goodness. So now that these are done, I'm going to go ahead and get them ready for day 2. Let's cover them up and see what happens the next day. All right, now it's the next day. Look at this, right? So cool. So they've cured and they look beautiful. This is a beautiful base to get started. Now we're going to start working on the opaque resin. Now I have all the different colors, all the way from deep blue all the way to white. And this is my favorite one, that deep blue. Then of course we start going to the shallower pieces and shallower, and then of course to the white foam for the wave crashing. But what I've done this time was not only use resin paste, I also added alcohol ink to each color. So I created a paste with both of those, and so now we're ready to go ahead and get that poured. I always like to start with the deepest part of the ocean, so let's paint on that deep blue as the base on the handle all the way to like maybe middle of the board, making sure to get that blue off to the side because it'll be really important as everything flows over the side to coat the side of the board. Now we're going to put the shallower teal color, and then to create a gradient, we want a gradient from the deepest to the shallowest. And remember, we're using the opaque colors for this part. This is the second pour. All right, so now we're ready to use the most shallow of the colors. And so it's a lighter turquoise. And then we'll blend the colors together with the little stick. The next thing I'm going to do is use this clear resin. Oh my God. Oh my God, I just dropped my phone in the resin. I'm mortified. Here's an instant replay for you. Okay. I'm so stressed. I'm so stressed. But I was able to get all of the resin off of my phone and continue. So I didn't show you the clear part of the resin where I put the resin on there and the white, but you've seen this before. Once I put the clear resin on, then I put the white and then blow it. And after I've blown it, then I just, use the torch to kind of get the rest of the bubbles out. Oh, this was a stressful day because I dropped my phone in the resin, but let's go to the next day. One day later, OMG, this is what it looks like now. All right, so one thing I didn't do with this particular project was prepare the back of the boards. Now I've been doing that, and this was the first time I haven't done it, and I wanted to try something a little bit different. So anyway, so now we're going to go ahead and do the third coat, but this time we're going to use translucent ones. The only opaque resin is the white one, because of course we want the wave to still have that big thick foaminess. But with this third pour, I want the color of the water to be translucent. So I only used alcohol inks for these. And you can see as I'm spreading the resin over the boards, you can still see through to the wave below it. This way it's giving a 3D effect. It's giving that a 3D effect. When you look at it, you can see the waves that crashed below the one that's on the very, very top. So we're going to create that gradient of color once again, this time using those translucent colors, and just kind of blend those colors together. Then putting the clear resin on the top. When I get to it. Oh, and always get the bubbles out, because oh my gosh, it's crazy when you don't. So here we're going to go ahead and put that clear so that the white resin that you're going to use to make the wave, that it just flows over the other resin. And now for the white. And this time I made sure I waited to make sure it got thick, so I didn't have any issues. And I always put alcohol ink with it just to kind of add a little extra something. I don't know. The more I do this, of course, the better I get at it. And I just absolutely loved how these waves turned out. This is my favorite part. So satisfying. Look at that. And the beautiful thing when you blow the waves is that you never quite know what it's going to turn into. And you just have to leave it alone. Look at that. Look at the lacing on that, right? So cool. All right. It's day 3. And now we got to take all of that, all the drippings off of the back of it. So what I did, I have an orbital sander. I just flipped it over. I used a 120 grit sandpaper on the sander just to kind of like knock out the extra. And then I cleaned it up with 220 grit. I smoothed it out with 220 grit. And this is the effect. It totally cleaned off the back of the board. I didn't have to worry about worrying about like tape and all of that. I think this is what I'm going to do from this point forward. I'm not going to bother with tape, especially when I'm dealing with wood like this, because I can always sand off the back. And this is what it turned out to be. Oh my God. It turned out so cute. I absolutely love these. Oh my gosh. And this was so much fun to make. I hope you enjoyed this, because I surely did.